one is always the hardest. That is truthful. I have no script for this. I just wanted to speak freely, speak my mind, and give an introduction to what this podcast is going to be about. What is the purpose and the objective for it, if there is any, or if I'm just blowing smoke up my ass. Well, that's one way to find out. Let's see how this evolves. So, Michael's Odyssey. I had a lot of names, a lot of options for different monikers that I wanted for the podcast. But the goal has always been the same. I love deep conversations. I love intelligent conversations. I love to learn from much more capable people. I'm very fascinated with the human condition. I'm very fascinated with other perspectives. I would like to see the world from other people's eyes, other people's point of views. So that has always been my key ultimate fascination in life. It's just the human condition, existence, and the way we have developed life around us. What is art? Why do I have a subjective draw to art? Why do I feel a certain way when I see a painting or just a brilliant performance? I see a brilliant performance troupe, just deliver exceptional products. Music. I have such a deep connection to music and sound. Much, to me, for my subjective take, much more than the average. Because that is my subjective take. So I'm very fascinated with just the entire condition. People, other people, or how other people view the world, and the general idea of consciousness and the general idea of just existing, and how it created different worlds within this oddity called existence. And within this, Homo sapiens have been able to develop just world within worlds. Architecture, for example, interior architecture or tropical minimalistic architecture. This is a world we've created within a discipline for our existence. It's fucking fascinating. Industrial design, the design of machinery, the purpose of aesthetic in the first place. Aesthetics is just, it's mind-blowing. When I think about it deeply, I'm always fascinated with the idea of aesthetics and why that matters. Why some of us look at some aesthetic differently than others. Why am I drawn to minimalism? Why am I drawn to more Nordic, Scandinavian, minimalistic design? Why am I also drawn to ultra-modernistic, retro-futuristic, dark, curves, sharp angles, spaces? Why do I look at that as aesthetically appealing? Why am I drawn to certain, to the Chelsea boot design, to pea coat as just as an aesthetic product? Why am I drawn to microchips? The design of microchips is fucking beautiful. Train, metro lines. I just, I can see aesthetic in many things, but I can't. Aesthetic is just a different discipline on its own. I find that fascinating. I find physics fascinating. I find astrophysics fascinating. I find quantum mechanics fascinating. Science is extremely fascinating. I find material science fascinating. Nanotechnology fascinating. It's so much to be fascinated about. I find just human will fascinating. I find marathon runners and it plays. I find them fascinating. There's just so much to be fascinated about. Just intellectualism, that concept, I find that very fucking fascinating. Philosophy, that's why I'm automatically drawn to philosophy. I'm more of this on the science spectrum, if I were to put a gun on my head. But there's a little... people talk about religion and science. That's bullshit. It's philosophy and science. These guys need each other to get things done. And that is, I'm very fascinated with just, thoughts, school of thoughts. How do we design worlds, and how do we, the idea of simulation. There's so much to be fascinated about. Longevity biology. I'm fascinated with biology. I'm fascinated with evolutionary biology. Jesus, it's a fascinating subject. Mechatronics. I'm fascinated with mechatronics. I'm fascinated with robotics. I'm fascinated with building, with civil engineering. I'm fascinated with high-speed railway. I'm fascinated with politics. I'm fascinated with how we develop systems and how we coax or coerce or just basically convince people to follow in a way of life and being adamant advocates for that. I find that fascinating. The impact of psychology throughout generations. I find that very fascinating. It's on a genetic level. I find genetics fascinating. Psychology, I find psychology very fascinating, obviously. So basically, Michael's Odyssey is all of this. It's all my fascinations. Fascinations I believe a lot of people too would find. I want to speak to much smarter, much more intelligent, much more interesting people. And I want them to share their experiences on their specific disciplines and how they view the human condition and how they view, other disciplines in life, how they view other worlds, other school of thoughts. So I like to have public intellects. I will have authors, scientists, artists. I will have economists. I will have philosophers. I will have musicians who are also artists, but I'll have musicians, I'll have actors, I've mentioned authors and, writers, journalists, politicians, advocates, humanitarians. Obviously, I'm very fascinated with just humanitarianism and the concept of empathy and compassion, not just, from a subjective emotional perspective, but also from a design perspective, from a strictly pragmatic perspective, just looking at it as an economic tool. Also, empathy and kindness are very powerful tools. So I am fascinated with that, and I'll also speak to much more capable people to see what their take is on it. I also love to speak to psychology. I love psychologists. I find it fascinating. Therapists, very, very fascinating people. So yeah, that's Michael Odyssey. Come, join me. Let's have an adventure.